The Ningaloo Coast is a World Heritage Site located in the northwest coastal region of Western Australia. The 705,015-hectare heritage-listed area is located approximately 1,200 kilometres north of Perth, along the East Indian Ocean. The distinctive Ningaloo Reef that fringes the Ningaloo Coast is 260 kilometres long and is Australia's largest fringing coral reef and the only large reef positioned very close to a land mass, with the area inscribed as follows: The interconnected ocean and arid coast form aesthetically striking landscapes and seascapes. The coastal waters host a major near-shore reef system and a directly adjacent limestone karst system and associated habitats and species along an arid coastline. The property holds a high level of terrestrial species endemism and high marine species diversity and abundance. An estimated 300 to 500 whale sharks aggregate annually, coinciding with mass coral spawning events and seasonal localized increases in productivity. The marine portion of the nomination contains a high diversity of habitats that includes lagoon, reef, open ocean, the continental slope and the continental shelf. Intertidal systems such as rocky shores, sandy beaches, estuaries, and mangroves are also found within the property. The most dominant marine habitat is the Ningaloo Reef, which sustains both tropical and temperate marine fauna and flora, including marine reptiles and mammals. The coast and reef draw the name from the Australian Aboriginal Wajari language word Ningaloo, meaning promontory, deep water, or high land jutting into the sea. The Yamatji peoples of the Bayungu and Yinig-Jura clans have inhabited the area for over 30,000 years. Ningaloo Coast World Heritage Site. The World Heritage status of the region was created and negotiated in 2011, and the adopted boundary included the Ningaloo Marine Park, Ningaloo Marine Park and Muron Islands Marine Management Area, Jurabi Coastal Park, Bundagi Coastal Park, Cape Range National Park, and the Lermonthair Weapons Range. The site was gazetted on the Australian National Heritage List on 6 January 2010 under the Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act, 1999. In 1987, the reef and surrounding waters were designated as the Ningaloo Marine Park. Reputation. Although most famed for its whale sharks which feed there during March to June, the reef is also rich in coral and other marine life. During the winter months, the reef is part of the migratory routes for dolphins, dugongs, manta rays and humpback whales. The beaches of the reef are an important breeding ground of the loggerhead, green and hawksbill turtles. They also depend on the reef for nesting and food. The Ningaloo supports an abundance of fish, corals, mollusks and many other marine invertebrates. The reef is less than half a kilometre offshore in some areas, such as Coral Bay. In 2006, researchers from the Australian Institute of Marine Science discovered gardens of sponges in the marine park's deeper waters that are thought to be species completely new to science. The short-nosed sea snake, thought to have been extinct for 17 years, was found on Ningaloo Reef in December 2015. Conservation controversy. In the early 2000s there was much controversy about the proposed construction of a resort at an area called Maud's Landing, which was a major nesting ground of the loggerhead turtle. It was also feared that the resort would be generally degrading to the entire marine park. Author Tim Winton, who lives in the area, was vocal in his opposition to the development. In 2002, when he won the WA Premier's Book Award, he donated the $25,000 prize money to the community campaign to save the reef. Ultimately, the planned resort did not go ahead. However, developers continue to take an interest in the area. Ningaloo Collaborative Research Cluster. The Ningaloo Collaboration Cluster is a major research project that commenced in the region in 2007. It is part of the CSIRO flagship collaboration fund research initiative. The project involves researchers from the CSIRO, Sustainable Tourism Cooperative Research Centre and a range of Australian universities including Curtin University of Technology, Murdoch University, University of Western Australia, Australian National University and the University of Queensland. The project will deliver a dynamic model of Ningaloo incorporating socio-economic and environmental load implications of human activity in the region, that can be integrated with an ecological model of the region with the ultimate aim of developing planning tools and management models to ensure sustainable use of the region. The study involves the collection and processing of socio-economic data from tourists and the host communities of Exmouth, Coral Bay and Carnarvon. It also involves the collection of data concerning the environmental load of human activity including natural resource use, waste generation, pollution, visual impacts and impacts on flora and fauna. The interactive project involves key stakeholders in the region including the WA Department of Environment and Conservation, the Shires of Carnarvon and Exmouth, local tourism organisations and Tourism WA, the Gascoyne Development Commission, the WA Department of Water and Environment, researchers from Wealth from the Oceans and Ningaloo Project, Chambers of Commerce, WA Department of Energy and Resources, WA Department of Fisheries, the WA Department for Planning and Infrastructure, the Ningaloo Sustainable Development Committee and Ningaloo Sustainable Development Office, Jammadji Land and Sea Council representatives, and the Ningaloo research community along with other cluster project members and the state's Ningaloo project. The project also engages with planners and managers in the region to examine tourism development and management, specific reserved areas, national parks and reserves in the World Heritage Area—The Coastal Park, Cape Range National Park, Jurabi Coastal Park, Ningaloo Marine Park, Ningaloo Marine Park, Bays of the World Heritage Area, Islands of the World Heritage Area, North Muron Island, South Muron Island, Peninsulas of the World Heritage Area, Marine Park Zones, Bundagi Sanctuary Zone, Murad Sanctuary Zone, Lighthouse Bay Sanctuary Zone, Jurabi Sanctuary Zone, Tantabidi Sanctuary Zone, Mangrove Sanctuary Zone, Lakeside Sanctuary Zone, Mandu Sanctuary Zone, Osprey Sanctuary Zone, Windrabandi Sanctuary Zone, Clotes Sanctuary Zone, Bateman Sanctuary Zone, Maud Sanctuary Zone, Pelican Sanctuary Zone, Cape Farquhar Sanctuary Zone, Naraloo Bay Sanctuary Zone, 3 Mile Sanctuary Zone, Turtles Sanctuary Zone, South Muron Conservation Area, North Muron Conservation Area, Sunday Island Conservation Area. Source: Ningaloo Marine Park Sanctuary Zones and Muron Islands Marine Management Areas, Perth, W.A. Department of Conservation and Land Management. Scales vary. Mercator Project. Geocentric Datum of Australia 1994.